What if a small group of believers in 1942 could see the impact their faith would have over 80 years later? In 1942, a handful of faithful believers gathered in rural Littleton, Colorado. Their mission? To plant a seed of faith that would grow beyond their wildest dreams. From those humble beginnings, a vision took root. 17 years later, in 1959, our church was investing in the next generation, believing that the growing community of children and students would carry the gospel into the future. 17 years later, in 1976, they built on this vision, expanding their reach, fueled by a passion to serve both locally and globally. The church continued to expand, and in another 17 years, God was calling families to serve around the world, to inspire and equip people to find and follow Jesus. Their stories of obedience and courage are part of the broader mission that God has for us. Just 17 years later, in 2010, Mission Hills Church felt God's call once again to grow and reach more people for His kingdom. Miraculous doors opened, leading to our Littleton campus. This campus was built on faith, prayer, and the belief that God had more for us to do. As we stand at the threshold of 2025, we're looking beyond ourselves. Beyond is an acceleration towards our 100-year legacy to unleash an unprecedented movement of Christians living on mission with Jesus. In 17 years, the population of the Front Range is projected to grow by 50%. And if current trends continue, fewer than 10% of these people will be engaged in a gospel-centered church. We face an unprecedented culture of apathy towards faith. People are comfortable, complacent, but these counterfeit joys don't bring the true contentment that God promises. At Mission Hills, we know that God's plan is bigger. We stand on the shoulders of those who went before us, those who dared to dream big, invest deeply, and trust God to do what only He can do. As we look beyond to the next 17 years, we can imagine current toddlers sharing their faith on high school campuses, students transforming their workplaces, established churches taking new ground, new congregations exploding across the Front Range, outreach partners multiplying their impact around the world. To meet this moment, we must go beyond ourselves, investing in the next generation and in ministries that will multiply our impact, beyond our buildings, creating spaces where people can encounter God and be sent out on mission, beyond our church, expanding our global outreach and supporting partners who can reach those we cannot. We are passionate about reaching every lost person on the Front Range and beyond. Today, we invite you to invest in something bigger than any of us, the eternal work of God's kingdom.